Good morning learners, welcome to the first week of the course Gender and Performance, an Indian Perspective. This is the first module in which we will cover the understanding of drama, theatre and performance. In this particular week, we will be discussing the history of Indian theatre from gender perspective, and in the present module, we will cover the basic concepts such as drama, theatre, performance, Natya, the academic disciplines which are often taken as related, but there is a difference. For example, the difference between drama studies and performance studies, difference between drama studies and theatre studies, and so on. So let us move ahead and learn about the fundamental terms, the key terms to understand theatre better. Here is the outline which covers the basic concepts of drama, Natya, play, theatre, performance and performativity, and also academic disciplines such as drama studies, theatre studies, and the difference between them along with performance studies. This module will also cover the major elements of drama and dramatic techniques. In this module, we will be covering the fundamental terms and define what is drama in Indian context and also how it has been understood from Western perspective. Etymologically, the word drama comes from the Greek root which means to act or action or deed. Drama is primarily a written script. It is written to be performed, and once it is performed, the performance itself is the play of it. Drama becomes play when it is staged. So, three components are important in drama: actor, who take up a character, who take up a role and perform a character; the audience, who is equally significant, the one who watch the performance, the one who interpret the performance, the one who equally constructs the meaning in performance, and the third element, that is the space of performance where drama is staged. So, the three components are actor, audience and space of performance. The space of performance could be a proscenium stage, an auditorium, this could be a street, or the space may also be a room or a classroom setup or a backyard of someone's house. Drama is defined as the form of composition designed for performance in the theatre, in which actors take the roles of characters, they perform the indicated actions and utter the written dialogue. It's a form of a script which is considered as a guide to a performance through setting and stage directions. Drama is a written script and it is performed, converted into a play. Let us see how different scholars have interpreted drama in their own ways. And the first and foremost name comes of Aristotle, the great Greek scholar who defined drama as a form of poetry to be acted, as an imitation of an action. And this imitation does not mean a copy but representation of life itself. Drama is an imitation of life, or rather real life situations. Another thinker and scholar, Cicero, defined drama as a copy of life, a mirror of custom, a reflection of truth. When we come to the modern times, Bertolt Brecht's name is very significant. He is a German dramatist and He rejected Aristotelian definition of drama and Aristotelian conception of plot and other concepts. And he defined drama in a unique way, saying that it is not just an imitation of action, but a tool for the demonstration of social conditions. Drama is not merely an entertainment, but an instrument of political and social change. So for Bertolt Brecht, drama is not merely a medium of entertainment or a world of make-believe. For him, it is a social tool to bring transformation in society, to create awareness in society. Drama is further defined as a literary form which is designed for theatre because characters are assigned roles and they act out their roles as the action is enacted on stage. These characters can be human beings, dead or spiritual beings, animals or abstract qualities. Drama is an adaptation, recreation and reflection of reality on stage. It is primarily functioning to inform, to educate, to entertain and in some cases to mobilize the audience. So the primary function of drama is to entertain as well as to teach, to mobilize people. There are multiple functions of drama and different writers and different scholars have defined it in different ways. For some writers, drama is primarily for entertainment. For different critiques, drama is functioning to educate. The primary function of drama is to educate the audience. And Aristotle said, though both the functions are equally important, to entertain as well as to educate the masses. I hope by this time you are clear with the term called drama and what it stands for. Now parallelly, we will also learn what is Natya, a term that has roots in India going back to Sanskrit dramaturgy. Etymologically, Natya is derived from the root nat or narta, meaning to dance. Nat is a Sanskrit word which means actor who is primarily a dancer. The ancient Indian plays were produced not only through dialogues but also accompanied with dance, music and instruments. Dear students, remember that when we get back to Indian roots, Natya is not limited to dialogue delivery or only written dialogues. It is also about what are the instruments to be played, the music and the nature of the music, and also the dance which accompanies along with the dialogues. So we have a total theatre when we go back to Natya, the Indian root, which is often accompanied with music, dance and instruments. Natya is defined as a mimicry, which can also be translated as anukaran. A mimicry of whom? Mimicry of gods, the asuras, kings, as well as of householders or the commoners living in the world. It is called drama, according to Natya Shastra. Now you must be thinking, what is this work called Natya Shastra? Students, Natya Shastra is a composition of Bharat Muni and it is the oldest existing work on the theory and practice of ancient Indian performance. This work has been divided into 36 chapters and contains 6,000 verses. Natya Shastra is the encyclopedic work that not only covers what is drama and how many types of drama are existing, but also gives instructions and methods of acting, instrument playing, mudras, music, dance, dialogue, how to deliver dialogues, and other related areas are covered in this dramaturgy and in a very significant work called Natya Shastra, composed by Bharat Muni, which gives us an idea how Natya as a genre developed in India. The basic difference between drama and play. Now, often the word drama and play are used synonymously, but there is a fundamental difference between the two terms. Sometimes we call a text having dialogues and setting and descriptions a drama, sometimes a natak or natya, the Sanskrit word, or a play. But there are differences. Drama refers to a form of written literature that is intended for performance, while play refers to performance on stage or a theatrical performance. A drama is to be read and a play is to be seen. It's a branch of literature which is both literary art and representational art. Drama is a representational art and it is also called staged art. The play's text is variously seen as a guide to a performance comparable to a blueprint. So, in the text of drama or a script, the written script, we often find the descriptions, the stage settings given, instructing the stage manager or director how to design the stage and how to take up the play on stage. The performed play, the performed text is play and the written text is drama. I hope the basic difference between the term drama and play is clear to everyone. Now, what is theatre? We have been using this term often, very frequently. Sometimes drama and theatre are the two words which makes us understand as if the two are same. But no. Theatre comes from the Greek term theatron, which means a place for viewing, a physical location of performance. Theatre therefore refers to the space which is used for dramatic presentation or for other performances. The space where plays are performed is called theatre, which Indian conception we can call it Rangashala or Natyashala. Theatre also refers to the art form or the field of performing and producing plays. So, the space of theatrical performance is called theatre. Moving ahead, we come to the two terms performance and performativity. Before coming to the definition of these terms, I would like to quote the famous line from Shakespeare's play, where he said, "All the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players," which suggested that this world itself is a larger stage where everyone performs something or the other in their day-to-day life. The repeated acts are nothing else but performance. Performance is not only limited to the theatre, but it is an extended word. It's a very broad term which is also practiced in day-to-day life. So let us see how performance is defined. Performance is a broad term that includes theatre, but it also goes beyond the theatrical conventions. All form of reenactment can be productively analyzed as performance. Many reenactments are not theatre. So performance includes theatre, But performance is not only limited to theatre. Theatre is one of the parts of performance, but performance is more than that. While performance is an act of executing a special role, a specific role, it could be social, political, or everyday practices or presentation. Performativity refers to the notion that actions and language can create certain effects and realities through repeated behaviors, gestures, and patterns. So, performance, as we see, is an act of executing a specific role. It could be a performance in theatre or performance in everyday life of a common person. But performativity refers to the very act and language that involves into it and creates an effect through repeated behaviors, gestures, and actions. For example, John L. Austin, one of the foremost writer who dealt with the performativity of language and talked about the very nature of performativity existing in language, that one can command and it is performed. Also, Judith Butler, a well-known modern thinker, scholar, and gender activist, she talked about the performativity of gendered identity, calling it a set of repeated acts or stylized acts. So, with these words, it is clear that performativity is not only limited to the theatrical performance or the art, but also extended to the various social constructions existing in the society. Moving ahead, let us deal with the three major academic disciplines which are often taken as similar, related, but they have some fundamental differences. First, let us discuss what is drama studies. Drama studies is traditionally focusing on the textual analysis of written dramas. In drama studies, text is primary, text is more valued, and text is to be read in the classroom. So, the study of drama focuses on the textual study and analysis of a text of drama, whereas theatre studies deals with the literature and theatrical performances, how performances are enacted on stage, and also focuses on methods of study including different literary theories to analyze theatrical performances. Now, performance studies is different from drama studies and theatre studies. Performance studies is not only limited to the plays or theatrical performances, rather it studies all forms of actions that are performed, for example, religious rituals, any sport event, or even day-to-day life as performed acts in cultural context. So, performance studies also deals with the actions that are consciously or unconsciously performed that may or may not be viewed as theatrical. Here we find that in these three academic disciplines, performance studies is a broad area that covers theatrical performance and analysis of it, and also other performed acts including various religious rituals, social practices, gendered practices, and other cultural practices and norms which are repeated and stylized existing in various cultures. Now, after talking about the fundamental terms, I hope that the difference amongst these basic terms that we have discussed so far, it is clear to you. Drama, Natya, performance, performativity, theatre, play are the terms which we have just discussed, and I hope it is clear now. Now we will talk about elements of drama. Let me quote Aristotle's Poetics, where he mentions 6 elements of drama, including plot as the soul of drama, or the most significant part, the most significant element of drama according to Aristotle is plot. Secondly, character, then thought, diction, song and spectacle. So according to Aristotle, these are the 6 elements of drama which are fundamental and primary to make a drama happen. According to Aristotle, plot is the most important aspect and the soul of tragedy. And he defined plot as the arrangement of incidents. So what is the arrangement of incidents? In drama, we find there is a sequence which is logically arranged. The actions which are logically arranged in a particular sequence that gives a particular kind of effect that the writer might expect to create or tries to design it in a particular way. In a dramatic plot, unlike in the novel where the narrator describes the characters and incidents they are involved in, the playwright presents the character in action. So plot is the organization of a series of actions or events, usually moving through conflicts to a climax and resolution. In plot, there is a series of actions or events taking place that is divided into 3 parts: beginning, middle and end. And in totality as a whole, the body of the text creates a particular effect that the playwright might expect to create. Now, to understand the concept of plot clearly, I would refer to the Freytag's pyramid, which is developed by a 19th century German playwright Gustav Freytag in 1863. It will help us to understand the idea of plot properly. So here we see that the beginning part includes the inciting incident or exposition. The beginning could begin with a conflict in drama or certain problem or issue being raised, and dramatic tension begins. When we reach to the middle or the climax, the topmost part of the pyramid, if we see, the term climax is mentioned, where the action moves forward and heightens the intensity, the tension going on and moving towards the resolution, towards the end, which is also called denouement. After discussing plot, there are other elements not exactly following Aristotelian term, Aristotelian conception, but the other elements which are primary to understand drama. For example, dialogue is a very important element that we find in drama that makes it different from other literary genres. Now, what is dialogue? Dialogue is a discussion between 2 or more people, and in literary works it refers to a composition in a conversational form. It could also be described as a verbal exchange of thoughts, ideas, which helps to reveal the characters and exposes the incidents. So dialogue in drama embody different literary and stylistic values which can be explained in these ways. Dialogue consistent with the character of the speakers, their social positions and special interest, and it varies in tone and expression. It is particular according to the character. It also gives us an expression of naturalness without being a record of what may have been said, since fiction is concerned with the semblance of reality and not reality itself. So, dialogue makes it very important to understand the psychology of the character in drama. the trait of the character in drama or to understand what they desire. We only get to know all these things through reading out or listening to their dialogues. So it's a very important element of drama. Moving to the next element, character. Now, character is the one who delivers the dialogue. Without character, there cannot be any drama. So, character refers to the person who act the play and deliver the dialogues. Characters are individuals having different temperaments, sensibilities, desires, traits, and motives. Based on their actions and representation in drama, they are admired, rejected, or ignored. And there are various kinds of characters in drama, which includes the protagonist, the hero of the text, the dynamic character, the static character, the flat character, round character, and the stereotypes. So there are various types of characters who make a drama happen, because through characters only we get to know the intentions, the motives, the plot which is unfolded through the characters who get indulged into action. So it's an important element of drama. Setting. Now, setting refers to the time and place when and where the action of the plot takes place, and it is very important because it provides a guideline of performance to the stage manager or director, informed with stage directions. In stage production, setting helps the stage designer to design appropriate locale and atmosphere for the play. We see in drama that often plays are divided into act and scene. Act is a major division in the action of the play. So acts are often largely divided, and sometimes we see 5-act plays are there, sometimes 3, and also 7-act plays are written. We also have absurd plays where 2 acts are there, or there could be no act. There is a variety of play called 1-act drama. So act unifies a plot and divide it in a proper proportion. An act is further divided, it is subdivided into scenes. A particular scene is located in a particular place, and often we see that in one scene usually place and time is not changed. But when the act changes, the setting also may change. Here are few examples to understand the setting in a better way. These are the 2 examples from 2 different plays, which are introductory stage direction. When the play opens, these directions are given. So, first example is from Poili Sengupta's play Mangalam. When the play opens, these directions are given, which is not to be delivered as dialogue by characters, but it is to be read by the actors or stage designer to be followed. Let us read one of the settings. When the scene opens in Mangalam, here it is given: the front hall of a house furnished with uncomfortable high-backed chairs, ugly tables covered with the printed handloom sheets, one with a black phone, rush mats on the floor, a glass-fronted wall, cupboards filled with untidily with plastic dolls, clumsy handmade art, objects of the Montessori variety, and silver cups. The front door is downstage left, and visitors leave their footwear at the door in an unsightly pile. So when the play opens, there is a character Revati, the daughter-in-law of the house. She is plaiting her hair and sitting on a chair. Her husband Mani, a bank officer, is looking through a sheaf of papers at one of the tables. With these instructions, when we read this description, the readers also get to understand that it is a setting of a room of a middle class family. So it's a traditional setting of a room. When we read the setting, we get to know the time, place, and the cultural setting of the particular play. Another example is from Anupma Chandrasekhar's play Free Outgoing, which is a modern Indian English play where it's a very minimal setting given. Here, when the play opens, a one-line description is given saying the action takes place in Malini's flat in Chennai, India. So the location is given and the name of the main character, Malini, is mentioned in the setting itself. Apart from that, we don't have other descriptions given there. So the setting could be very elaborate as per the choice of the playwright, or it could be very minimal as we see in the second example. Now, these are some dramatic techniques which are often used in the plays. For example, play within a play is a very popular and interesting technique where we see a play being watched by the characters whom we read in the play. So, a play being enacted within the drama that has been read or performed for certain purpose. It has a logical connection with the main plot. A popular example is the mousetrap scene or the murder of Gonzago in Shakespeare's Hamlet, where play within a play as a technique used by Shakespeare so that Hamlet could catch the conscience of Claudius and find out whether he is the actual murderer of Hamlet's father or not. Another example of play within a play we find in one of the Indian English plays, Mangalam, written by Pauli Swingupta, where when the play opens, the very first act, we see a setting and the characters talking to each other in a very traditional setup. It's a household setting, and gradually when it moves forward, there is a point when immediately audience or the reader gets conscious that the characters are different and these characters are talking about the play that they have watched, which was comprised in the very first act. It makes the play very interesting. Some other dramatic techniques are prologue or epilogue. For example, Shakespeare has used it in his famous romantic drama Romeo and Juliet, where prologue and epilogue both are used. It's up to the playwright. We may find drama where only prologues are there or only an epilogue is there, or both are used, as in Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. Prologue introduces the play. It provides us the background details of the play and often introduces the character to the audience, and the epilogue closes the play and it ends with a message or sometimes a moral lesson that has been given in the play. Interlude. Interlude, one of the best example of it is John Haywood's The Four Ps. An interlude in a play is a short piece of entertainment that is presented between the acts or major scenes in a play. It is believed that the term came into drama during the Renaissance period. It was a short dramatic presentation or a play performed indoors before a small audience. So, interlude is a short piece of drama having its own plot that was often performed in between a play, between the break or intermission, and it may not have the direct connection with the main plot, or it could be completely different play from the main play which has been enacted. Soliloquy. The best example is Hamlet's famous soliloquies, where we get to know his psychology, his fears, his anxieties are revealed to us through his soliloquies. In soliloquy, character delivers the dialogue which are not supposed to be heard by other characters in the drama, but it is read by the readers or heard by the audience, and they get to know the mindset of the character through this. It is a speech made by a character when he is alone. The audience hears it, but other characters are not expected to hear it. Aside, another dramatic technique. For example, in Hamlet's text, we find Polonius making an aside remark in the presence of Hamlet, but not to be heard by Hamlet, where he says, "Though this be madness, yet there be method in it." So, aside is a dramatic technique in which a character speaks to himself or makes a comment in the presence of another character, but the character is not expected to hear that, which is heard by the audience and understood what this particular character who has made the aside remark wants to say or wants to make sense of the particular thing. Chorus. The use of chorus is a dramatic convention that is adopted by playwrights to comment on the events of the play. In any play that has a chorus, the playwright uses it to supply the information that could not be woven into the dialogue. The chorus is not usually part of the main cast, so does not participate actively in the action of the play. Some playwrights use the chorus to comment on the events of the play. So, it is a technique to supply certain information which cannot be elaborated through enactment in the play. We see chorus in many plays, many dramatists have used it. For example, Christopher Marlowe in his play Dr. Faustus, a famous play written in the Renaissance times, he has used chorus not only in the beginning of the play but also in the middle of the play to explain certain parts of the play which cannot be enacted or that has to be summarized, or to cover a particular duration of the play, chorus is introduced. Another example of the use of chorus is Dr. Chandrasekhar Kambar's folk play Jo Kumaraswamy, where chorus plays a very important role. It is a folk play. Now we come to a very interesting dramatic technique, Sutradhar, who is called the holder of the strings or threads in the play. And in Natak or Natya, we find the role of Sutradhar very important, who connects the whole play, being present from the beginning to the end. He could be present on the stage, or he could come and go in between whenever required. But he is the one who connects and simultaneously analyzes the play along with the audience. Sutradhar often makes an eye contact with the audience and directly addresses to the audience, unlike the characters. An example of Sutradhar is Vijay Tendulkar's play Ghasi Ram Kotwal, where the role of Sutradhar is very important and this play cannot be imagined without him. After discussing these basic terms, let us deal with a play, a very famous play written by Mahakavi Kalidas. It is one of his last play, Abhigyan Shakuntalam. It is a famous Sanskrit drama where we find the use of the technique called prologue that starts the play with a brief introduction of it, and prologue also introduces the plot and from where it has been taken. This play is primarily inspired from one of the stories of Mahabharata and talks about Dushyant and Shakuntala. Here Kalidas, a leading Sanskrit dramatist of about 4th century, he was a poet dramatist. He wrote plays in verse, and this is the masterpiece created by him. Abhigyan Shakuntalam, is divided into 7 acts. Number of concepts that we have discussed today in this module. With this example, those conceptions, some of those conceptions can be understood. It's a play which is divided into acts. It's a drama to be acted, and the use of prologue, the use of dialogue, the characters of Dushyant, Shakuntala and the other characters who are there in the play makes it a perfect drama as an example for us to understand. This play is an exemplary play to understand what is Sanskrit drama and the glory of drama in Indian tradition. In the next module, I will be discussing the origin of Indian theatre and will be focusing on Sanskrit theatre. And by discussing Sanskrit theatre, you will understand in detail how it is different from the plays written in English or Western drama. The tradition of Indian theatre is rich, and we can understand it in a very easy manner through various examples from Indian plays that covering different centuries, including Bhash, Bhavabhuti, Kalidas and many other playwrights whom we will be discussing in the next module. So learners, in this module, we have discussed the fundamental terms to understand drama. First, I tried to make you acquainted with the basic terms so that we can proceed to talk about the play itself, the text of drama in detail, how to analyze them, how to read them and see the deeper meaning of it. After knowing the basic conception only, it can be done. Thank you so much.